Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in. I'm Doris Tinajero, your realtor here at Five Stars Realty, and today we continue the series of the 5 key players to buy a home. Today I'm here with my favorite insurance owner, Fabian from Durango and Insurance. He's been a friend of mine for 3 5 years now,
Yes,
and
time
he is
flies.
the person to go to. Him and his wife Gabby. So thank you, Fabian, for coming. And I appreciate your time that you've taken to come do this podcast with me. So, what made you go into insurance? Like you help the community tremendously, but how did you get into insurance and what inspired it?
Great question. I get that question asked a lot. I'm someone that likes to feel very purposeful, and I like to give back by nature. It's just my nature. So with insurance, I found an opportunity to do that. It's such a dark industry. It's an industry that's unknown, and the drive that I found is the light that I can bring to the industry, the education that I can bring to the community regarding insurance, and the guidance, especially for the Latino community and the home buying community, which is a community that's, almost jumping into new things, a lot of times blindsided. So that's what I love about the industry, the fact that I can bring light to it, I can educate a customer, and I could feel valuable at the end of the day.
That's amazing, and that's great because it actually brings me into my next question. Everybody thinks insurance is just another bill, right? So how can we help the audience understand that it's not just another bill? How can insurance actually help you financially and just overall?
Excellent question. And I always say this: insurance may seem like another bill. Insurance may just be, hey, I pay it. But don't look at insurance like that. Remember, insurance is going to be there for you at your worst time. Insurance is going to be there for you when your car is in an accident, unfortunately, when a loved one may be injured in a car accident, when your house burns down, when a tree hits your home, or more common, your sewer backs up into your basement, your pipes burst, your neighbor starts feuding with you over the tree falling on his property. So insurance provides protection. So when you think of insurance, think about protection and the value that brings. Okay. So I always tell people, look at insurance as protection, look at insurance as a preventive vehicle to avoid you losing assets that you own, or even losing everything you work for.
Okay, that's super important. And then can you share a story of a client that went through something, didn't have insurance or did have insurance, and how did you save the day?
So it happens all the time. So right now, the insurance industry is unfortunately plagued by high premiums, tough underwriting. Companies are dropping clients, especially in the homeowners insurance field, for inspection reasons, a lot of conditions, something we're not used to here in Connecticut. Maybe higher risk states like Florida, New York, customers in the real estate communities used to these very tough insurance let's call them underwriting guidelines, right? Like the insurance is just tough on the market. But one of the things where I'm doing now is just telling clients, even if you don't go with me, show me the quote that you think is better, and let's go over the differences. And based on on those differences, you can make a decision that when something happens, you know how much you're going to pay out of pocket for a loss. Do you have $50,000, $30,000 for a win loss? People don't know this, but on their homeowners insurance, there's a special deductible apart from your standard all-pearl deductible that the mortgage check, that your attorney checks. There's a fine print where the company can add a special win deductible.
I didn't know that.
And they mask it by putting a percentage. So they'll put 1%, 2%, 5%. Psychologically, everyone looks at that and says, 1%, 2%, 5%. That's nothing. What it is that percentage represents how much you're going to pay out of pocket based on the full rebuild value of a house.
Oh, wow.
So on a house that needs about $500,000 worth of coverage, you're talking $25,000 out of pocket. So I had a customer who called me. We have had a long relationship. We've done business. This was another house they were buying. And he goes, Fabian, thank you for the quote, but I'm going to go with someone else. And I respectfully said, look, I'm going to look after your best interest. That's fine. Go with them. But let me at least go over these policies with you. He said, no, no, no. I called the wife. Listen, your husband's going with someone else. I'm okay with that. Send me the quote just so I can tell you what you're getting with them versus with me. It was $180 difference. He was going to go with someone else for a $180 difference.
That's huge.
He did not know he had a $28,000 wind deductible. Just wind. So any wind damage, directly or indirectly, he had to pay out of pocket.
Wow.
$28,000. He had a $1,000 big deductible, all pearl deductible for everything else, fire, etc. The wife goes, Fabian, I'm going to pay the extra money. I do not want to have that deductible. 2 weeks after closing, there was a windstorm. Tree fell on top of the house.
That's crazy.
They went with us. They only had to pay $1,000 deductible because it was an FHA loan. And the day was saved. And I told them, what happened if you would have went with this other company?
That's crazy.
They would have paid $28,000 out of pocket. So insurance is a very dark industry. There's a lot of fine print. And the reason, I'll be honest, why I do well is because I find value bringing all these details to the community that people don't know.
So you hear it from Fabian himself. What makes him different from other companies, right, is you're willing to sit down and educate the customer, actually compare your competition. And if the competition is better than Fabian, by all means, go ahead, But I love that. I love that you actually sit down with everybody and you compare apples to apples, oranges to oranges, and then let us as a client make the decision. I love that, Fabian. What are some common insurance mistakes that people make, though?
Very common mistake insurance people make is thinking that cutting corners in insurance, it's okay, and thinking that they can get away with it. So I always tell people, measure the insurance the day you buy it, but also measure your insurance the day you're going to need it. No one thinks about their house burning down, getting a lawsuit, having a tree fall on top of the house, getting into a car accident, but it happens. And at that moment, you're not thinking about how much you're paying for insurance. At that moment, you're not thinking about loopholes. At that moment, you're thinking about the benefit. So the most common one I see in real estate, people listing investment properties as owner-occupied. That's number one. Big mistake. The number one rating factor for an insurance policy is occupancy. So if the occupancy rating is not the right one, they can decline a claim. And we've been having a lot of claims denied. Second, the deductibles. People don't review well their deductibles. They're thinking they have $1,000 deductible. They find out and they have hidden $25,000 wind deductibles. On car insurance, two things we've been seeing is Uber and food delivery drivers not disclosing that to the insurance, and then when they crash, the insurance don't cover it because they're using the vehicle for business and not rating the drivers. That happens a lot with people, like just buy cars, let other people or family members use them. If you don't rate them as drivers, the insurance carrier has the right to decline a claim because you're not disclosing your drivers.
Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, that's amazing. Now, do you have any workshops or any education that you provide to the community so that you can help them prepare and help them understand their finances?
Yeah. So again, people don't like insurance. People don't like to go to an insurance seminar. But what we do is we partner with our friends like Five Star and yourself, Doris, and the brokerage to be able to educate the realtors. We do tons of educational seminars. We did one with your office with our magnificent VP, Vice President Jasmine. So we do a lot of workshops with mortgage brokers, realtors, because you guys are going out to the community. We do a lot of workshops with nonprofits like SAMA and the Bridgeport Chamber of Commerce, NARUP, LORE, where we educate professionals so they can go out to the marketplace and educate customers on insurance.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I loved what Jasmine brought to the table, plus the food and the wine. Thank you so much. Very
Anytime.
generous. So what about entrepreneurs like painters, electricians, GCs, how can insurance protect them from the risks of their everyday work?
So I work with a lot of self-employed individuals, primarily contractors. And I always tell them, other than the grace of God, the insurance is the only thing that can protect you, your business, and your customers. Because you also have to think about your customers. So as a small business, I always tell people, look, I get it. When you're starting a business, you can cut a few corners. You want to get the drive, start the business. But once you get going, you want to have insurance. Because the minute a contractor's at a client's house and something happens, if they don't have insurance, that contractor can get sued. And then if the contractor doesn't have enough coverage or assets, then the homeowner gets sued. So if a painter shows up to a client's house, gets on a ladder, starts painting, and one of their employees falls, if the contractor doesn't have workers' comp, by state law, they're going to go after the homeowner's insurance in the title of the home. So the homeowner's now liable based on Connecticut law.
Right.
So you want to make sure, as a small contractor, small entrepreneur, make sure you get general liability insurance. So if anything happens at the job site, you and the client are protected so you don't get sued. And make sure you get workers' comp. Anyone you bring to a job site, if your employer, your day worker, or your helper, or family member you just brought to the job site gets hurt, if there's no workers' comp, you will get called into labor department court, and now you're putting the homeowner at risk of being sued.
Yeah, definitely don't want to go through that situation ever. Sounds like a nightmare. Oh
yes.
My gosh.
Yeah, so a lot of contractors get upset, especially our people, Latinos, when you say, hey, you have insurance. They get all funny. Oh, why you need insurance? What are you trying to do? I tell them, I'm protecting you. I'm protecting myself. And if there's a client, I'm protecting my client. I want to make sure that if you go there and do that roof, if there's an accident, someone falls, you're protected, my client's protected, the person who actually got hurt is protected. If not, everyone's going to sue each other and become enemies. Or, if, God forbid, you forget to cover a roof, happens all the time, and water gets through, or you do a poor job covering the roof between the work, and now they have major water damage, that you have insurance to protect them so they don't have to go through the insurance or sustain a loss.
Amazing. And Fabian, you do such an amazing job. What do you do to motivate yourself to always show up and help your clients?
I get that a lot. I pray. Praying's important, having that fear of God. So I wake up every day with an empty stomach, fearing God, and then just being humble and I tell people all the time, I'm working harder now than I did 22 years ago. And it's not because I'm trying to accomplish things, because I'm just feel very blessed and thankful for everything God has given me. So that fear of God and that God of drive, that drive God gives me. Second, you got to be positive. The problems are always going to be there. People are always going to give you pushback. There's always going to be obstacles, or at least I've been used to it all my life, right? I've always was told, no, you can't do that. I was always told I wasn't picked. So I always figured out a way to give my own drive and give it 150% my all. And if you close, I always preach to my staff, to my kids, to everyone around me. When the door closes, look for a window. When the window's not there, push through the door. As long as you're doing the right thing, you will get through. So you got to have that positive mindset that problems are going to be there, obstacles are going to be there. It's your job to knock them down. Eat well, right? I'm not 20 anymore. So starting off with a good meal. Well, I juice in the morning. I do a lot of juicing. I do a lot of vitamins. I do believe my body's my temple. If I don't take care of it, I can't take care of myself or others. And then I try to be motivational, inspirational, and again, of value. So that energy pushes right through.
That's amazing. I juice too, and I'm almost 50, so.
Wow. You look 20 something.
Oh, he's so nice. No, I'm almost, halfway there. But if anybody watching right now, if they haven't reviewed their insurance policy, what would you say to them?
Please take the time to call your insurance broker or call me and say, I would like to have a coverage review. Everyone price shops. Yes, the goal is to get you good price, good coverage, good service. But you want to be able to cover all three. So grab your policy, call your insurance broker or call us and say, I would like a coverage review. And what that means is you want to take a look at what coverage you have, what policy you have to make sure it meets your needs. Whether it's car, home, or business. You go over your use of the property, your use of the vehicle, your use of the business, and you compare it to what you got. Then the second step is what alternatives are there to change that policy to make it better.
Awesome.
Whether it's coverage, whether it's deductibles, whether it's rating, and price. And then you take that step, and then you look for options. And then you make a decision.
Okay.
An insurance broker that doesn't ask questions is not a good insurance broker. That means they're just selling you insurance. And the same thing, I encourage clients to ask questions, or I engage in asking questions. A lot of times clients get upset. Oh, I called somewhere else. They didn't ask all these questions. They feel bothered. I go, look, it's my time. I'm doing this for free. We don't charge for anything. Unless you buy, we really don't make money. So we want to give you our all so you can see the value doing business with us.
That's amazing. I love that. And then how can people get in touch with you if they need to review their policies and they realize it's expired or whatever and they want to renew or just simply want to renew? How can we get in touch with you?
Thank you. So our website is durangoagency.com. There you will find all our 7 locations throughout the state of Connecticut, Stamford, Norwalk, Bridgeport, New Haven, New Britain. Durango Insurance on social media, Instagram, and Facebook. And I encourage people not just to follow our business page, follow me, Fabian Durango, on Instagram and on Facebook. You'll see the profile, little ugly, but that's me. My cell phone, 203-667-9953. Please contact me, shoot me a text. I have a magnificent team of 30 people. We have 3 managers, including Gabriella and Jasmine, myself. So we're a hands-on family business.
Awesome. I love that. It's a one-stop shop and family owned?
Yes.
Yeah, those are going extinct. Those are barely around anymore.
And we're still on Main Street. We're not going remote. We're not going to corporate offices. If anything, we're doing the total opposite. We're opening up more offices on a Main Street level so our clients can walk in.
Awesome. Okay, and finally, what advice can you give families or entrepreneurs about insurance?
Again, don't look at insurance as a requirement. Many people, even when they buy houses cash, they don't get insurance at the closing.
Oh, wow.
Because there's not a requirement, right?
Right.
It's not a requirement to close. So then they
Yeah.
close, and then the attorney or even the realtor goes, hey, did you get insurance? Here's this guy, Fabian. They call me like 2 weeks later. Hey, I just
wow.
closed on the house. Don't look at insurance as a requirement. It's protection. It's your money. It's your house. It's your asset. If you paid cash for a house and God forbid something happens right after closing and you don't have insurance, you lose everything you just put into the house. So look at insurance as protection for you, your family, and your future.
That's great advice. I didn't know that realtors did that. Yeah, we were supposed to always
Right.
recommend the insurance. Well, Fabian, I again appreciate your time. You and Gabi do an amazing job.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, and thank you for coming. And again, it's Fabian Durango from Durango Insurance. Any questions, you'll have his information at the bottom of the screen. And I'm Doris Tinajero, your local realtor here at Five Stars Realty. Have a great rest of your day.